Hello my friends and welcome to another pick a card reading. I hope you're all doing really well. So this is a reading about a message that is meant to find you. I was just called to do just a reading to express some messages to you. I don't know whether they're from spirit. We've already had from your ancestors, but it just seems like from the ether there's some messages that want to come through. So 3 pile choices as always. Pile 1 is this black moonstone. Pile 1. Pile 2 is this beautiful carnelian. And pile 3 is this gorgeous piece of, I don't know if you can see it, Libyan desert glass. Okay, a message meant to find you. Pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. Timestamps will be in the description box below, and I'll see you at your reading. Bye. Pile 1, hello and welcome to your reading. So you chose this black moonstone and this card, so let's have a look. Wow. Okay. It's rest. So take a break, in action, time off and pause. Wow. Take a break, in action, time off and pause. So I read that in that order. So, I mean, I'm getting like a 4 of swords kind of vibe here. This is a message from the universe. It's like these are immediate messages. They're kind of like take action now kind of thing. And it's really interesting because the black moonstone is connected with the new moon. Now, when I am reading at the moment, we are actually the moon is waning at the moment. So, sorry, waxing. So it's really interesting. So either there's 2 things. You still need to pause and take a rest. And I feel like there's elements that you need to consider of the moon when it's in its darkest state at this moment. Or there is something that you need to remember when you were resting that you need to remember now. So you either need to do the same thing, or you need to remember something that was going on then. Another thing I would say is also you've got this white rose here. So there's something that kind of tells me at the moment, well, I was just watching something the other day and it just reminded me of the elements of alchemy. And in alchemy, you have the red and the white rose. The white rose corresponds to the female, the divine feminine. The red rose corresponds to the male, the masculine, and the 2 come together as a marriage, as a alchemical marriage. Here we've got the white rose, and also she looks pretty like kind of happy. So I've just got a feeling that you've just got to just chill out. And number 17 is, let me just double check, 15 is the devil, 16 is the tower, 17 is the moon, I think. So no, it's the star. 17 is the star. So there's that kind of thing where I think maybe the idea of you like leaving it, or like just kind of being content with what's going on and trusting that the universe has your back, basically. I'm just double checking that I always forget, like I forget quite simple things, which is just really annoying, like the elemental symbols, which is like, the 4 triangles, and then I forget like silly things like the actual cards unless I like go through them. It's a bit like my alphabet. Do you ever get that? When you like think, okay, so then if that's the case, then this is asking you to pause and try to remember something, because I don't know, you may be getting frustrated about something that may be quite simple to you, and take your time, and when you rest, the actual, like, you know, it will come up to you. What you need to know will come to you. Yeah, the moon is 18, so I think the star should be, it should be the star, which is 17. Let's just double check. Wow, I can't find it. I'm sure it's here. But yeah, like there's something about you being able to have some kind of hope in the unknown and trusting in the unknown. So let's have a look at some of your other cards. I'm going to have a look at this in a minute because it's bugging me now. I need to know. Yeah, I found it. Right, okay, so this is the star in the deck that I'm going to be using, which is the White Fly Tarot. Oh, I love this deck so much. And yeah, you can kind of see, I mean, this image, this person is not going anywhere. They're in this space where they are just chilling. So I think that that's quite important for you to be doing, kind of meditate. I don't know if you like, if you've been thinking, I need to meditate more. That might also be something as well, like carving out the time for you to take the appropriate action, for you to relax and regenerate yourself. Because it's not actually saying, like, what's going to be the benefit of this. It's just saying for you to do it, you know? So we can find out a bit more about what's going on. Just... yeah, you can see that there. So I'm just going to pop that there on top of my cords to amplify that energy. Okay, some astrology. It's going to be quite a short reading today. So, okay, so we've got first house, arrival, and, okay. So, first house, arrival. At the time of this reading, we're just about to approach the spring equinox. In the UK, in the northern hemisphere. It will be the autumn equinox for the southern hemisphere. Also, we are looking at the start of the astrological year, so in tropical, obviously, so in tropical astrology. So what you're looking at is, I think there may be a little bit of a delay with something, but there may be, and I think that this is needed, because I don't know if... okay, so this could actually be something that's provoked. So it could be something that has happened as a result of, or it could be that you need to do it, you know? So that there could be one of two situations here at the moment. I'll find out more with the tarot, but let's have a look with these cards. Wow, winds of change. Your surroundings will undergo transition. Okay, so... there is a change happening, even though we've got this kind of delay happening. And I will do those cards afterwards, actually. Yeah, so let's have a look with the tarot. What is this message meant to find pile 1? A message for pile 1. Dear Spirit, a message for pile 1. What is it that you want me to communicate to pile 1? Okay, so we've got Ace of Wands reversed. Yep, wow. Okay, Five of Wands. And then the World upright. Interesting. Really interesting. Okay, right. 2 aces. Interesting. So what's going to happen is that basically your sense of inaction is actually going to be more fortuitous than you pushing forward and provoking a reaction or taking action. Does that make sense? So I think there's some idea that you want something to happen. You want something to go forward. You're thinking, okay, I need to do this. But actually, you don't need to do anything. Or you could have done a lot of preparation for something, and now is the time to rest. And you may be feeling a little bit antsy because you're like, oh my God, I've got to do this thing. I'm just going to take a sip of my tea. Ace of Wands says to me that you've like kind of lost your motivation in this situation. And this could be to do with conflict that you've had around other people. We've got Leo and Saturn here. So there's this idea where there's this clash of ego that's going on. And, you know, Nine of Swords, it's almost like reversed. In a way, it's similar to the Nine of Wands. I'm getting that feeling that you actually have had enough. And I think it's because it's to do with this World card. That you really don't have the energy to deal with things that aren't worth your time. You're only willing to invest in things that you know are going to have reward, like an actual reward. It doesn't have to be monetary, but it has to be something tangible. Does that make sense? It's pretty clear. I think there's just been some people that have really caused you to feel quite, maybe, I don't know, not doubting yourself, but not very motivated. Maybe you're in a work situation where you've been around people and you've just seen how incompetency is rewarded as opposed to hard work. And it just kind of makes you feel, what's the point? You kind of want something that you really can feel that, you know, you're working towards. And with the first house reversed, it's almost like, you know, you might have had to go into a space where you denied part of yourself in order to fit in with this thing. It could be like a work situation, you know. So what it's saying is that just take a step back and just do what you've got to do. And remember, yeah, and this actually could be very, very, you know, a work situation is perfect for this, because it would say that it doesn't motivate you at all, but you know that it's money. So you just do it for the sake of it. You just do it because, like, you know, you need something right now. But there's something about it that, you know, is not like you're done with it now. You're done. Like there's not really anything that you're going to, like, it's not going to be something that's going to what's it called, like, it's not going to be your ultimate career or anything like that. You're kind of done with it. Let me clarify with some more tarot. So I mean, the main message here is just to say, like, yes, you don't feel motivated by this situation, but there's no big deal about it. It's just kind of, there's just nothing really inspiring for the situation to occur, and there's just a lot of, like, it just feels like a work situation, because it's like, it just feels like quite a bitchy, it's a hostile situation, actually. Not even bitchy, it's hostile. Well, yeah, bitchy, actually, but, you know, when I see the Five of Wands reversed, I kind of think it could be even worse, you know. And because we've got like a bear there, it could be that. Yeah. Okay. So let's have a look at what we've got here. Okay, so we've got the Five of Wands reversed here. I don't know if you can see that. It's a really crappy situation, I'm not gonna lie. It's not a very nice situation to be in. It kind of just feels like a really conflicted situation. And it's not just you, everybody feels like that. And they're just there to make money. You've got the Star reverse, which is really interesting, and the Nine of Swords. Now, what I get from this is that there isn't any real rest that people can take, and it's a difficult place to find inspiration and hope within this space. So just be aware of that, okay? If you're trying to find it in this space, I just don't think that you will do. It really does feel like a work situation. It could be, it could be like a situation where you're, I don't know, like maybe even at school or something like that, or like an educational institution, but you just got to do you and just get on with what you've got to get on with. And because the pentacles, I mean, you know, it could be referring to the fact that, you know, you just keep your head down and just do your work kind of thing. But that's why I was kind of like thinking about, but it seems like money. So that's why I was thinking about work, because the world is clarified by the seven of wands. This place, oh, hold it the right way up. This place, wherever it is, I don't know, some people like what they do, and I don't know, I feel like you, part one, you kind of know the score. I don't think you would be looking at this tarot reading if you didn't know it, but if this place is triggering you in some way, shape or form, then you kind of understand what it does. Whereas other people, they don't really get that. They don't really understand that, and they're completely conquered by their demons. Like, they don't... I'll go as far to say, and I'm not being judgmental, but I just think that these people have no idea about what they're doing. Like, in the external. So like the situation that you're in, the surrounding kind of sense that you're in, it's actually designed to trigger you. That's what it is. Five of Wands reversed. Oh my God. Five of Wands reversed is clarified by the Nine of Swords. Listen, yeah, right? I don't know. Some of you may be feeling really like down about this situation. You may be feeling that it's giving you a lot of anxiety. It's making you feel kind of like mentally unwell. You know, you may be thinking about it a lot. I don't know. It just seems to me that you're in a situation that is causing you to not be with yourself. And I think what this Winds of Change card is saying is that you are... This is an ephemeral situation. It's not something that's going to be permanent. And I mean, we've got wands, we've got swords, wands, swords, what's this? And one pentacle, which is the Ace of Pentacles. And it's the Ace. So it's powerful, but it's still one of the weakest cards in the suit, because it's the beginning. Wow. And you've got the Ace of Wands. Wow. So the Ace of Wands is clarifying the Ace of Wands. Can you see that? But this one is upright. So that's really interesting. So what I can see by that, right, is that it actually pushes you to get out. It pushes you to get out of this situation, because you've got no choice but to do that. That's what I see. Okay, let's have a look at some other cards for you. But yeah, this is pushing you to get out of this situation. And I think that the rest is talking about you just taking time out for you. Wow, okay. So we've got, and that's 31. So we've got the tortoise, the turtle and the coriander. Satisfaction. So I think, you know, it's really important for you to like appreciate the sense of what life has to offer you. There's no need to rush, even though it may seem that everybody is like in this space where there's just anxiety and rushing and whatnot. It's about you just taking some solace and time for yourself, so that you just, you know, you're your own island, you know. Okay, so to close out the reading, just to get some advice. Okay, you got 2. Lucky you. Right. So you got psychic protection. Around me now a shield of gold protecting me strong and bold. Around me now a shield of gold protecting me strong and bold. Around me now a shield of gold protecting me now strong and bold. So that might be an affirmation that you want to say. And then another one, inspiration. Isis, the goddess of magic, I ask thee to bring your inspiration to me. Isis, goddess of magic, I ask thee to bring your inspiration to me. Isis, goddess of magic, I ask thee to bring your inspiration to me. And it's 19. 19 is the card of the sun. It is also the card of... It's also 19, so it means that 10 as well. 10 equals the cycle being completed. So there's something about you moving on from this situation. Whatever it is, it's about you taking a rest, taking time out for yourself, retreating to your feminine self, taking time to find satisfaction in everything that you do in this moment, making sure you're psychically protected against all this riffraff, and allowing yourself to kind of be inspired by the things that you usually do get inspired by, rather than being caught up in the drama. I hope that helps pile 1. I hope it resonated. If it did, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. If you want to get in touch with me for a private reading, please do. My details are down in the description box below. But otherwise, my darlings, you take care. Have a beautiful evening, morning, day, whenever you're choosing to watch this. And remember that honesty is always key. Bye. Hello, pile 2, and welcome to your reading. So a message meant to find you. This will be just a short, to the point message, nothing too deep, but you know how these things are with my readings. They usually end up being quite deep. So, I mean, Carnelian is known as the blood of Isis. Did you know that? Like the deep red gemmy Carnelian, it's known as that. But this is the stone of Svadhisthana, which is the sacral chakra. So there's something about maybe creation, maybe connecting with that part. I don't know. Let's have a look. Wow, that's really interesting. Divine masculine. Control, leadership, and determination. So, well, if that's the case, then that means that there is a need for you to connect to your divine masculine in order to evoke the kind of essence of this, basically, of the Carnelian. I think there's definitely some kind of connection that is needed to go towards your divine masculine. Whether that means you need to take charge of a situation. Yeah, I think it's more... Do you know what I'm really seeing? I'm seeing a Casio watch. I was looking at like some watches because I've got one really good watch and I wear it for everything, and I really shouldn't because it's too dressy to wear some of the things that I do, but it's the only watch I have. But this watch is like a kind of... It isn't a watch, actually, a watch I would go for, but the thing I saw was like a silver Casio watch, like a men's watch. So there's something about you being able to be some kind of stable character. When I look at that watch, I see somebody who knows what they're doing. They're practical. You know, there's all those aspects. It's also silver as well, which is interesting. And there's a silvery kind of like, you know, look to this card. It's not gold, it's silver, which is usually assimilated with the, or affiliated with the divine feminine, which is interesting. So there's something about being strong in your divine masculine, which encapsulates, you know, the feminine. Like, I don't know, when I see somebody who is a strong divine masculine, it's somebody who has no qualms with his sense of femininity. So it's a man that can kiss and hug other men and not feel like his sexuality is questioned. Does that make sense? Because you know, like how some guys, they don't hug and kiss other men. obviously in a brotherly way, you know. If it's to do with like a sexual, I'm not really seeing that here. It's just meaning that kind of like sense. I'm feeling that. I'm also feeling a female being able, or a female energy taking charge and being quite direct and in control. Wow, so we've got 5th house and it's passion reversed. That's really interesting. It came up reversed for the other pile, so maybe that's why Spirit is asking me to tell you this message, because of these things that are reversed. So it seems that you have maybe a little bit of a blockage with passion in your life. It could be to do with relationships. It could be to do with you finding, you know, passion in your life, like generally, in terms of like hobbies or whatever, or maybe your career or something like that. But there's something about, you know, you need to invoke the divine masculine in order to restore this kind of faith and passion. Wow, the seer. Okay, follow your intuition. You know what it is. You know. You know. This reading should only be confirmation already, because Carnelian is to do with passion as well. What I also got, pile 2, is that if you are, you know, if you have psychic abilities, if you do tarot, if you read astrology, if you do any of these things that are to do with like the psychic arts, the esoteric arts, do it. You know, go for it. Like, go for it. This is telling you to do it. Because I don't know, there may be some kind of fear. Is this magnolia? I mean, they look like magnolia flowers, but I don't think they are. It's just because I'm obsessed with magnolia at the moment. And magnolia is coming into bloom at the moment. It's one of the first flowers that come into bloom at the time that I'm doing this reading, which is it's in the spring. And the thing is with magnolias is that they're usually attributed to nobility and standing out from the crowd when everything else is not really, you know, nothing is budding. Like if you have a look around, like in early spring, I don't know if this happens in the southern, it won't happen in the southern hemisphere because there's different plants usually, but like in the northern hemisphere where we have magnolia trees, magnolias are the ones that just bloom and they just look so gorgeous, and they're those colors. And there's a magnolia tree that I go to in my local park and I meditate with it. It's beautiful. Really beautiful tree. It's quite a really beautiful, loving tree, because there's a lot of beautiful things, like people take beautiful pictures there and stuff. It's really nice. And there's a sense of like you just going for it. Like going for whatever you feel that you need to at this time. There's no real, I don't feel like there's no room for being scared about anything. You just have to go for it, because if you don't, you may lose out on this chance. I don't think you'll lose out on a chance, but I just think that the time is ripe now. Okay, you've got the 4 of chalices there. Oh wow, it's so interesting, because these cards are lenticular. It actually shows up like that when I put it down. But on the screen, when I put it up, it's like that. Wow. Okay, that's beautiful. Love that. Okay, so that's the 4 of chalices, 4 of cups. Okay, so we've got the King of Swords reversed. I don't know if you can see that. These cards are so beautiful. So glad I have them. Right, okay. So King of Swords reversed. Oh. We've also got the King of Wands reversed as well. I almost turned it over. Did you see? Protector. And the King of Wands. Okay, so we've got the Protector, and then here I think it's the Elementalist. Okay, the Mentalist. So controller of all the elements, and then the Protector reversed, and the Four of Chalices. Okay. And then we have the Knight. Okay, there's a lot of people here. I love this. We've got the Fighter, and then do you see that? Hold on, there it is. I like this Knight of Swords. This Knight of Swords is really interesting because birds don't have teeth. So it's a real like, it's just a bit of BS really, but it's just funny. It's interesting how it works. And then you've got the Three of Lotuses. Wow. So we've got the Four of Lotuses, the Four of Cups. Okay, so we've got 3 people here. And then we've got the Knight of Swords. All men. So, you know, there's definitely a theme with masculine. Also, 5th house is ruled by Leo. Leo is a male sign. So there's a lot of man energy going on here. But what's interesting is that we've got 2 court cards here, 2 minor arcana, which are feminine in terms of the cups. I'm sorry, I can't remember what they are exactly in terms of the deacons. But what I can say is that there's an influence going on from men in your life. And I don't know if you're following it's almost like you're following the same thread. You're doing the same thing that they did. And I don't know if it's because you've just not had the greatest of examples of men in your life. But you're just going on ahead and just doing things. In fact, I think that maybe your friends and your social circles are the ones that are actually motivating you to go forward. Because if you were left to your own devices, I don't think that you would take the chance up, because I think there's a patterning that's going on here that would be the same thing, like it was before. So, for example, maybe I don't really think it's the father, because otherwise we would have had the Emperor. Excuse me. I would have had the Emperor. But what I am seeing here is that you've got the king. You've got somebody who really isn't very good with their words, quite dictatorial. You've got another person who's very, very oppressive in terms of what you do. They want you to, they've got like a kind of weird idea of how they protect you. And then there's another energy that kind of like thinks they've got it all under control, but they really haven't. So it's kind of leaving you in a place where, I don't know, you may feel that you're just kind of, that there's a propensity, and this could actually be on a, it's really interesting. This reading, I feel like is on a social level, like on a collective level. Even though these cards are for the collective, this feels like a collective thing for the situation that's going on at the moment. We are in a position where, particularly in the West, where we're observing a lot, and there's nothing that we can really do about it. We've got the King of Swords, which could be attributed to the mainstream media, and the King of Wands, where you've got like the kind of, the idea of people, just like kind of people out there in terms of the public and what we should do and whatnot. And then there's this kind of incentive of the fighter. So you being, you really wanting to do something, but because it's the Knight of Swords, it's almost meaning that sometimes the action that's taken is not really the correct action. Like it's a hasty action. It's not an action with the Knight of Swords does not act with thought. It acts without thought. It goes in without thinking. So, and I don't know if this has been influenced. You know what this is like? It's like if you go to like a dangerous kind of like protest or something like that. And I've got a lot of friends that are protesting at the moment. And this is what it just seems like. Like it seems like not really choosing the correct, or not going about it in the correct way. But there is a solidarity here. So I think there's very much a sign of taking action. And because we've got the passion as well, it's almost like there's this sense of like duty that's being fulfilled by this. I think really, to be fair, it just feels like you can't really sit back and watch what's going on. So a message meant to find you. Let's have a look. Like what? Okay, now we've got this situation. So what does that mean? Okay, so we've got we've got the Queen of Swords, clarifying the Four of Chalices. Okay, let's just push these up a bit because there we go. Hopefully you can see that a bit. Yeah, that's great. Okay. The Knight of Swords. Wow, reversed. Okay, there's an anger at the inaction of others, really. Nine of Cups. Yeah. And nobody is getting what they want. Really interesting. This really does feel like a political reading. Four of Cups again. Wow, pile 2. Okay, there is a lot of people here. So there's two dynamics. It could be like in reference to the political situation, or it could be in reference to a family situation, where basically there's two sides. And it could be to do with someone who is an alcoholic or something. Because there's a lot of cups here. So I'm just feeling like there's definitely some kind of like intoxicant that's happening. And the divine masculine is kind of questioned in this respect. And it's really interesting what I'm seeing here with this King of Cups reversed and this Four of Cups. It's almost like this cup is going into this kind of dimension, and then in order for this character to kind of cope, it's almost like they just get drunk so that they can kind of, you know, deal with what's going on. And Nine of Cups is kind of broken dreams. This kind of Nine of Cups reversed. So what's the message? What's the message? I think the message is like, when you are in a situation that you're surrounded by weak masculine figures, you have to really remind yourself of what it means to be a strong masculine. And please note I'm using the word masculine, so this is nothing to do with gender. Wow, metamorphosis. Okay, so this is a process of change. And it's a process of evolving into something. The frog is very much, you know, it evolves from the tadpole into the frog, which is something completely different. Also the lotus. The lotus is the idea of it being born from the mud, and then it rises up to the surface to create the flower. So what I'm seeing is that you have to be really kind to yourself and just be aware of any hasty decisions that you may be making at the time, because that is, you know, it's about control. It's about you being, you know, the divine masculine is quite, you know, the divine masculine doesn't rush. The divine masculine is someone who is able to really discipline themselves, restrain themselves. They are the emperor. But we don't have the emperor here. And all we have really is knights and reverse kings. So it seems to me that you might have not had the best role models in terms of male figures. So what this is telling you to do is to be able to create that for yourself. Now, I don't know what it is that you might need to do, but like there are plenty of exercises out there that help you to reparent yourself. This reading should only be a confirmation of what you already know. So if you were to type in anything into Google to help you out right now, it would be, how do I reparent myself? How do I father myself? You know, that's kind of what I'm getting from here. Safe home. I cast this circle about. Safety now is beyond doubt. Okay, pile 2. I think, I don't, as I said, like the Emperor didn't come up. So I don't know, but I don't know how your home situation is. Please make sure that you are safe, that you are okay. You know, home is where the heart is. So just ensuring that you've got everything that you need is going to be really important. Because at the moment there's just a lot of like, it's not very good male characters here. 3 kings reversed, and you've also got a Knight of Swords reversed. And to be fair, I think you can also find out from their example, but like how to really be a divine masculine. But I would also just be aware of the shutting down, which, to be fair, it's inevitable, because if you're in a space where you've been traumatized by males that don't really know what they're doing, then there may be a point where you do kind of shut down. But just be aware of it, you know. The Queen of Swords is there to help you make sure that you are being good to yourself in this situation. Pile 2, that's all I have for you. If you enjoyed this reading, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. But otherwise, my darlings, please have a wonderful morning, day, evening, whenever you're choosing to watch this. Please do subscribe, all that good stuff. If you want a personal reading, you can get in touch with me on the email address below. But otherwise, my darlings, have a beautiful day, and remember, honesty is always key. Bye. Hi, Pile 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Libyan Desert Glass, Pile 3, and you also chose this card. Libyan Desert Glass is really interesting because it's the only kind of glass that's like it is Moldavite, where basically it's fused with sand. It's a meteorite, and the kind of like impact of the heat made the sand fuse together and create this kind of this stone thing. What's really interesting is that I dropped it and it's really sharp, like it can probably like cut something here. And I used to wear it all the time. So yeah, it's almost like an insight to your mystical power, and your power has been challenged. Sorry, this is from the last pile. I forgot to take it out. But interesting, because Carnelian and Libyan Desert Glass were both items that were used in pharaonic items, so ancient Egypt. So there may be some connection there if you have past lives there or anything like that, or any connection to Egypt. But it almost seems like somebody's been hurt, so there's a sharp edge to it. And it's kind of almost damaged the power. Wow, I don't give a fudge. Focus on yourself, bad bitch. Avoid the assholes, and self-care. So, pile 3, I think you might be in a situation where, and I'm just going to pop this here because then it's on top of the quartz and it like kind of what's the word when you make it bigger? It like magnifies its power. So basically, like you are, I just feel like you really want to step into your power. You are stepping into your power. You're doing what you have to do. You're really not giving a fuck. Love it. Okay, let's have a look at your cards. A message meant to find you, pile 3. A message meant to find my pile 3s. Okay, you're the only ones that had this upright. Lucky you. Oh wow, look at that, 41 and 41. Third house communication. Pay attention to what's in your third house in astrology, my lovelies. Because that's going to be quite important for you to capitalize on this energy. 41 equals 5. 5 equals the Hierophant. 5 is also a challenging number, but it is the Hierophant, so that means that this is a learning experience. And also the third house of communication is about how you put yourself across. I've got a feeling that, and also with the current energies that are going on right now, the eclipse season is just round the corner. We're about a week or so away from it, like maybe about 2, no, not even a week. Like it's happening this week. We are on the 19th of March when I'm reading this reading. It might go out on the 20th. And the eclipse season is happening in, well, I don't know, it'll be different for your time zone, but like here it's on the 26th. So I think it's important to recognize that at that time it's very, like, you just need to get on with what you're doing. And not really care. Now that doesn't mean that you have to be, you know, blunt and what was I going to say? Like it's not going to be, you don't have to be abrupt. You can just do your thing, you know, because I've got a feeling there will be people who will try to provoke you into a situation so that you lower your energy and your vibration to their level. And this is about you making sure that you are not doing that. That's what this message is. Don't lower yourself to their level, because people are going to try and do that to you. The Oracle, seek wisdom and guidance from elders. Seek wisdom and guidance from people you trust, yeah? Not from randoms. Not from people that you don't really know that well, don't trust that well. Just you know, pay attention to those you know who have got your back, okay? Because if you, and that's the negative and the positive, that's both. Because from the positive aspect, they don't know you. They don't know what's good for you. From the negative aspect, who are they to say those things to you? Again, they don't know you. So I'll give you an example. I'd been working really hard on something for work. I have another job. And I'd been working on it. And, you know, it was something that, you know, I didn't need to do it. It was just something that kind of accentuated where I was. And I did it. And usually I was getting really good feedback from it. People said that it was really good and really appreciated what I did. But then one person, my colleague, because it was kind of like a performance speech, and one of my colleagues said that it was really cringe. Everybody else said it was really good, but this one person said it was cringe. I'm not bitter. And I had a choice, you know, I have a choice whether or not to. And the thing is that everybody has complained about this person within the space, within my work. So they know that this person is toxic AF. So I thought to myself, you know what? Just leave it. I've got no desire to really kind of, you know, correct this person. Even if I did, I don't think it would make any difference whatsoever. It wouldn't. It just wouldn't. This person would just sink into more kind of self-loathing towards themselves and towards everyone else. So I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to, but then also I thought, oh yeah, I'll be nice. But then actually, I don't even want to do that. I just need to just allow it and just kind of get on with what I need to get on with. So, and making sure that you're an effective communicator in this respect so that you don't like swing either way. You just do what you're doing. And I think that's really important. So let's have a little look at this situation. Wow, okay, 4 of Swords and 4 of Swords. So if you were attracted to pile 1, pile 3, go and see it because it's a similar kind of message. And then we've got the 9 of Lotuses, which is the 9 of Cups, the 9 of Chalices. And then we have the Page of Cups, the Composer, we have Judgment, love that. The Unknown. And then we have, wow, the Queen of Cups reversed and the Page of Cups reversed. So, I mean, this has a potential to destabilize you, okay? It has a potential for you to lash out, absolutely. Because, you know, it's exactly the situation that I described to you. So there's this, you know, you're actually understanding what it is that people are doing. They're not really paying attention to what they're supposed to be paying attention to. They're actually just acting erratically. And in a you know, whenever I see any of the cup, like the king or the queen reversed, actually not all the time, it's just recently, actually, with the last reading and this reading, but sometimes I see, at the moment I'm seeing alcoholism. I don't think that this is necessarily like in sync with this reading, but that's the image I saw. I saw an older female alcoholic. We do have the Page of Cups reversed, but I'm seeing this as a suppression of ideas. And it also could be something, and do you know what? It's making me think that it's your understanding that it's triggering you because it's not really what you want. And you know that what you want is going to be coming at a later stage. You know that it isn't, you just know that it's coming at a later stage. I don't know when it's coming. I don't know if it's going to be coming at this point within this situation. It might do, because nothing's telling me that you might actually have to leave, but you know, wow, you've got the Queen of Cups upright. That's interesting. 4 of Swords. So what the important thing is to make sure that you're looking after yourself, because if you don't, then you will end up being the Queen of Cups reversed. But if you do it upright, then you will, if you take care of yourself properly, then you will be able to embody this upright Queen of Cups. 4 of Pentacles reversed, that's clarifying the 9 of Chalices. I think you've got to be flexible in your approach, and even though you don't give a fuck, right, and you focus on yourself and you're a bad bitch and you avoid the assholes, there is self-care here. And also it means that some people are going to really challenge you. They are. It's full stop. They're going to challenge you. And it might be also because you're so amazing and you're getting things done. So, you know, that's why they want to try and challenge you and make you kind of question some things. But I think the important thing is here is that you don't You know when someone is being bang out of order, and there may be a tendency to lash out. The key here is you've got to be like, there's, you know, sometimes it happens to you. Like, I think when you understand that sometimes you can be like that, sometimes you can get out of hand, sometimes you can be, you know, the one who's not very agreeable at times. So I think, you know, nobody's like lesser or more, because the minute that we think that we're better than anyone, it's kind of when it gets a bit skew-with. And I think like here, you know, when you don't give a fuck, it just kind of like, you know, makes you think, oh. And I mean, you know, I could have gone into that kind of mode with my situation where I thought, okay, I've worked really hard on this, you know, that means that I really value this job, and, you know, or I really value it more so than the other person does because I don't see them putting in that effort. There could be that kind of comparison game that goes on. And I think when you abandon that, that's when we get into really where the magic is. I think that's where, you know, because people who are doing what they're doing, they don't really give a fuck about anyone else. They just do what they're doing. And if people meet them on that space, then that's great. If they don't, they don't, you know. They're not really. And believe me, I'm such a comparer. Like, I compare myself so badly, and it's to my own detriment, because the more that you don't do that and you just get on with what you're supposed to be doing, it just, you know, magic starts to happen. Two of Wands. Bear me 1 second. And then the Chariot. Bear with me. Sorry, my lovelies. Could hear some funny noises. So yeah, I think it's really important for you to remember that there's a balance here, and once you're confident in who you are, which is what this Two of Wands kind of is showing, that, you know, you're really unstoppable. But you have to just have some confidence in who you are. Two of Wands, we've got Aries in Mars. That's a really powerful card. It means that you have your castle and it's yours. Like, nobody else really can challenge that. And I think you have to give yourself the time, which is why we've got the Four of Swords here. You've got to give yourself the time to be able to connect with that on a regular basis in order for you to like really accept that and embody that, so that nobody questions that. Okay, so we've got the Boar and the Pumpkin. Confidence, see? The art of being quietly confident is such an amazing thing. And I think when we're able to just really sit in that space, you know, there's also like that thing of making sure that you know, it doesn't matter if you get it wrong, because nobody probably will find out unless you tell them, you know? Okay, so I mean, this is pretty clear, pile 3. So I'm going to close out your reading with one last action card. Wow, you've got, all I can see is success and victory. Those are the two cards that popped out, but there was a load, so I'm going to shuffle it again. But it's just like the ones that I could see was success and victory, so you're going to be fine. Oh, well, victory came out. Okay, so I shall celebrate, I shall rise, I shall let victory make me wise. Wow. So pile 3, I mean, you know, it's pretty good. Like, just be yourself, but just get on, get your head down, just do what you got to do. Charge through like the chariot you are, even when you're not inspired, and when people around you are not being very inspiring, be the example. And that's going to really help you, because that's what Libyan desert glass is about. It's a rare thing that, you know, is not found anywhere else. It's a really rare stone, and an exceptionally powerful stone that invokes a sense of power within oneself. So it's about you making sure that you have this. Pile 3, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. But otherwise, my darlings, have a wonderful morning, day, night, whenever you're choosing to watch this. If you want a personal reading, do hit me up on my email address below. But otherwise, have a wonderful day, and remember that honesty is always key.